and he was a wonderful guy. He actually played Howard the Duck, Bob Gale.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. But we had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, it was exhausting, and it turned out not bad at all. It's a fun little movie, and I got lucky. I did Necronomicon for Brian Yuzna, and gosh, I wish they'd come out with that. It was widescreen, again, it was made for very little money, but we had a French director and a Japanese director, and Brian Yuzna, who directed my sequence.
Yeah.
Horrific piece, but I had a lot of fun doing that too. So I got lucky, I guess, in the horror genre.
Well, another movie that was a total blockbuster. It certainly wasn't a horror genre. I suppose you could say it was a horror for the guy that died and got hauled around, and that's Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's was, I just got off the, Terry Kaiser lives in Ridgeway, Colorado. We're both in the academy, and we swapped stories about, what do you like? You like this movie, you like that. I had a ball making that movie, and again, I have no idea. I'm not I'm a happy camper when I work. I'm not a problematic actor. I couldn't believe it. They wrote me out of the sequel,
Yeah.
which made Terry a kind of a rich man. Made him but he called me and he said, "Don, I don't believe it. I got the script and you're not in it." So, what are you going to do? We worked very hard on that, and we came up with, we worked just prior to working, we'd improv and figured out Ted was very intelligent man, very kind of an intellect, and we just worked around the script. But and had a lot of fun doing it. Shot it in North Carolina, faking the Hamptons, and on Long Island.
Well, to be Bernie and have to be dead and stiff and be carried around, it had to be hard.
Oh, I'm not sure I quite heard what you said about carrying him around.
I said to play Bernie and to be stiff and have to be carried around like that, I mean, that had to be pretty hard. I mean, was there any points in the film where he broke up?
Somebody said to me, was he on wires? Can you believe that?
Really?
No, that's called acting.
Yeah.
He's just very good, and and it turns out to be a classic comic performance. I mean, I think it's up there with Jerry Lewis. I think it's up there with, with Chaplin in a way. I mean, that particular thing. I'm not comparing everything he's done to Chaplin, but it's a classic comic performance.
Yeah.
And the critics killed us. That we came out, and the critics could just about prove it was a bad movie. And
even though they did, it was a success, right?
It's a big hit, and people tend to, when I run into people, you Weekend, but we got to rent that again, So it's a perennial, It just works. Quite a gem of a little movie. I'm proud of that. And we had a lot of fun. His house was a practical set. It was torn down the next day.
Wow.
But it was brilliant art direction in the movie. It really was. I mean, that house looked like it'd been there. It's movies. It's what it's all about.
Now, I was talking about Return of the Living Dead earlier, and I mistakenly said that you're the one who put yourself into the crematorium. That was James Karen, right?
No, that was Jim Karen. No.
Yeah.
I play Ernie Kaltenbrunner, the mortician.
Now, was that a set where the crematorium was?
What?
Was that a set? I mean, was that a real warehouse?
Absolutely. So the whole, even the UNITA company was, we were all in one building. It was like an industrial building, so we built all the sets in the one building, and we only used UNITA an exterior of a building that I believe was downtown. They put a sign on the roof, and but there really was no interior there. But ours was a building. So when I ran out the door and shot that little guy, that was real. There really was an interior that I came from. Whereas UNITA, no, there was no interior. It was all in our building. We did everything in that one building. The set, Bill Stout, who was the production designer, Brilliant work. It really. But the crematorium, it said Geiler and Hill Furnace Company, and I went, oh my God, David Geiler and Walter Hill. You know, I guess he felt that Dana, that he got screwed out of Alien. You know, he created Alien, the movie.
Right.
And so there was bitterness there, I know. But then there's Bert and Ernie, and I never connected it. But Bert is Bert, and I'm Ernie, and
there you go.
You know, Sesame Street. You know, he's really off the wall. But you know, my character Ernie Kaltenbrunner, Ernst Kaltenbrunner was a high-ranking Nazi.